welcome to the sports segment live here on the JoyNews Pulse with me, Ivory Coast. And as usual, and as we've been doing in the past month or so, we're looking at the Africa Cup of Nations. Currently, Ivory Coast themselves are in a crime tie against Egypt, probably a final before the final. But one of them would be dropping from the competition in just over an hour. So we're approaching halftime. It's 0-0 between both teams. And joining me in the studio to do some discussions around the Africa Cup of Nations is Joel Botte. Joel, 0-0 between Ivory Coast and then Egypt. Both teams probably coming from contradicting, perspectives coming into the round of 16. Ivory Coast very full in confidence, finding their form, beating Algeria. Egypt, not the best of performances against Nigeria, but they've grown slowly with 2 consecutive 1-0 wins. Who are you going for in terms of the winner of the match today?
With this game, I believe Ivory Coast, in my opinion, have the upper hand against Egypt. If you look at how Ivory Coast have played throughout the competition, you could tell that they look like a team that's looking to win the title. They've played with good chemistry. They've had a lot of communication on field. They've shown that tactical approach towards games that they look like they know what they're about. If you look at their first 2 games in the group stages, you notice that they played with inverted fullbacks, pushing into the middle and allowing the wide players to enjoy the wide areas, for example, Pepe. And you can tell that Pepe is enjoying his time on the flanks because he has 2 goals and an assist, if I'm right. So with that, you can see that the Ivorians know what they're about on the field, and they're not giving opportunities to these other countries to enjoy possession and enjoy the game. With Egypt, I believe they are relying more on Salah. I noticed that with this game, they've changed their approach and they are going with a 4-3-3 instead of their 3-4-3. And that allows them to use the other players like Mohamed at attack along with Mohamed Salah. And that's good because then you allow Salah to enjoy the possession on the wide areas and attack, which he's good at. So I believe that with this game, I'm still tipping Ivory Coast, but I think Egypt still stand an opportunity in there.
Okay, we can show you the lineups of both teams. Still 0-0, almost halftime in that fixture between the 2 sides. And as Joey rightly mentioned, Egypt's lineup in a 4-3-3 formation. Mohamed Salah would be expected to lead the lines. But as we look at this lineup, Joey, speaking of Salah, pre-match he said that he came close in 2017 where Abubakar denied him that Africa Cup of Nations trophy. Yeah. This is one trophy that he would hold dearly to his heart. Do you think he and Egypt have what it takes to go all the way?
Well, looking at the squad, I believe with how Egypt recruits their players, they don't focus mainly on foreign players. They look at their local leagues and incorporate that with their stars, and that's Salah. We've seen El Neni in there, and I believe he's starting as we speak. He's been good for the team, but I don't think Egypt, the whole team stands out. They look more to Salah as the main man, but I don't think they have the chance to win the title this year. Maybe in the coming years, but not this year.
That's definitely something that Mohamed Salah wouldn't want to hear. But let's look at the broader perspective of the Africa Cup of Nations. 13 red cards shown so far. That's the same number that we've seen in the last 4 tournaments combined. That is absurd, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And interestingly, it's just when we incorporated the VAR, the video assistant referee, and we've seen more decisions go to that, and it's been a problem. Some say the way Africans play is more physical, and therefore some of these challenges or tackles should be allowed. But I mean, some players are coming from the middle part of their leagues, and you don't want a player going back to their league or club injured. That would be a disaster for them and the club as well. So I believe that we've seen these things just as a result of what we know to be standards of officiating. Aside that, I think it's okay.
Well, so far we've not seen any red card in this game. The record prior to this match was that in every knockout game that we have seen, there has been at least 1 red card. In fact, in the match between Senegal and Cape Verde, there were 2 red cards going to one team, that's Cape Verde, who ended the game with 9 men. But let's quickly look at Ivory Coast and how they line up for the game. And we're seeing Sebastien Haller starting yet again. What do you make of Haller himself? He was in form in Europe, and despite scoring a goal, he still hasn't really reached the highs that you'd have expected him to reach at this point of the tournament.
Yeah, that's true. He was one of my players to watch for this tournament. And I've noticed that with the way Ivory Coast play, they play more with the wide players. You see Zaha in there, you see Max Guedo in there. They like to attack with such players, and therefore it's not giving Haller the opportunity to shine as the main man up top. But aside that, I believe that Haller would definitely find his form in this tournament. It's just going to take time. He may get a goal in this game. I believe so, because he's one man that I think he's a go-to finisher. And I believe in the coming games, that's if Ivory Coast qualify, he may get goals for them. He's a very good striker.
Quite quickly, before we wrap up, you've seen 14 of the teams play so far in the knockout round, Mali and Equatorial Guinea. From what you've seen so far, are you seeing the winner of the Africa Cup of Nations in there?
In that game, no. No, I'm not seeing the winner coming from there. I believe it will come from the other games. I'm even tipping Gambia to go far. So,
very interesting. Thank you very much, Joel, for joining us. And that's how we'll be wrapping up the sport here on the Joy News Pulse. My name is Ivory Coast.